Howdy, I'm Dylan, and for the past 3 years, I've spent every single Monday night of my week in this room, room 104 in Syracuse University's Whitman School of Management. That's over 180 hours I've spent in this room just as a part of the Entrepreneurship Club, and over 8,000 hours that I've impacted onto students who have joined me. And throughout those 180 hours, I've taught lessons, I've interviewed speakers, I've given speeches, gained incredible life skills, and most importantly, built an amazing community. The Entrepreneurship Club community taught me so much about myself and helped me to grow into the person I am today. So the remainder of this short video is a very genuine and heartfelt thank you to everyone who shared a small portion of their lives with me in this very room. I have 3 very important lessons that I've learned that I want to share with you all. Of course, with the Entrepreneurship Club, I have learned a ton more than just 3 lessons, but I think these are most fitting. The first lesson, and one of the most important ones that I learned, was that one should value the free market whenever given a chance. One of my good friends, Sawyer, who was also the vice president of this club, who I worked with for years on the Entrepreneurship Club, taught me this. And if the club is valuable enough, if people like what you're doing enough, then they will come, just like a free market operates. You shouldn't bend over backwards. You shouldn't have to over-promote. You shouldn't have to do something that you normally wouldn't. If it's good enough, people will come regardless. And whenever we made a decision in the Entrepreneurship Club, we always thought about that. What will the market think? Will the market accept it? Along those lines. And eventually, after creating a valuable enough club or value proposition or community, the free market decided that it was worth it. So whatever I will do in life, I will always value the opinion of the free market. The second very important lesson I learned was that extroversion is learned and practiced. And this is the very first lesson that I learned through the Entrepreneurship Club. And when I came to Syracuse University, I was an extremely introverted person. Still am in a way. But after my experiences with the club, I was forced into extroversion, and I learned the virtues of extroversion. Every semester, I'd put it to the test. There were tabling events, people to speak to at lectures, speeches to give. Every single time I interacted with anybody in this club, it was a test for me. And one of my very good friends, Marlena, who was also vice president of this club and I worked with a lot, taught me this. She effortlessly was extroverted. She talked with people, gave speeches, promoted the club like it was second nature. And I was kind of awestruck by this. I had no idea that someone could even act this way and be so cool about it. And when I was around Marlena, I used it as an opportunity to learn from her because I was impressed. And I put it to test again and again with her. Additionally, with Sawyer, I learned it again. Sawyer, similar to myself, had also forced himself into extroversion. And with him, I learned that everyone is just another person. So when I go to tabling events and speak to other people in the club, I'd realize that this person is very, very much like myself. And I'd use those principles whenever I could. And after 6 semesters of tabling and involving myself in this club, I learned exactly how important extroversion is. And I learned that it opened so many doors that I thought were bolted shut. My third and final lesson that I learned through the Entrepreneurship Club, as funny as it sounds, is that nobody cares. I like to pride myself and think that people do care about the club, and I think that's true. But when I first started the club, and even now, I would feel embarrassed to get up here and speak to people. I would feel embarrassed when talking to the group. I would feel embarrassed when introducing a speaker. And I think that was because I felt like it wasn't enough. Even if it was, even if we brought in a CEO who operated a $500 million business, even if we brought in Colin Jones from Malfi Jets, I never really felt like it was enough. And in reality, the people who came to these meetings, they didn't care about me or if I was embarrassed. They just cared about seeing the speaker. They cared about seeing their friends this week. And when I started creating videos for my first startup, I was petrified. I was worried that people who I knew would see these videos and think differently of me. I was worried that I would just be embarrassed. And initially I was embarrassed. But because of my experience with the Entrepreneurship Club, I realized that in reality, I was the only one that cared so much. In reality, nobody else cared. And some people were impressed. And I've had people to this day come up to me and tell me that I drove their passion. I encouraged them to start posting on social media. And that's something I never, ever thought would happen in a million years. I'm being honest. So the next time you're scared of doing something new, whether it's posting a video online like I did, getting up in front of a club, writing a blog post, whatever it is, remember that nobody cares. And I know it sounds cynical, I know it sounds bad, but it's really your best friend. And getting someone to care, getting someone to come to a club meeting is the best thing you can do. So once again, I'd just like to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who's given me an hour of their life. Thank you to everyone who spent their time with me, because without you, I would be a quarter of the man I am today, and I truly mean that. I am forever grateful for your time because it shaped me into the person I am today. And it's given me everything I'll ever need to crush this wonderful game of life. The 180 hours that I spent in this very room have been the most impactful and important of my life, and I would never take back a single one, not for anything. I'm sad I can't spend the next transformational years of the Entrepreneurship Club with you, but I'm determined to use everything you've given me to excel in this next chapter of my life. So thank you so much for your time. I'm going to sign out.